Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation.
The Foundation with Hearts Grant is brought to you by Alive, the Bahamas Liquidation Center, One for Bones, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, Doctors Hospital, Epic Battery, Grand Bahama News, Popeyes, Prince Masters, and Ron's Electric Motors.
The Foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Foundation. Grateful to be in your company. Wet weekend. I hope you guys had a good time. Didn't slip and slide all over the place into those places you shouldn't be. Praise God. Let's be decent as possible. As we continue to talk about these things, guys, I'm grateful to be in your company. Got to shout out my good, decent people over at Da Vinci's Printing and Innovators. They got everything laid out for you. Make sure you go check them out. I keep telling you, man, if you got this kind of an idea in your head, this dream, this goal, this aspiration, and want to be able to put it on paper, you want it to pop, you want that presentation to be able to look superb as you present it to those persons to be able to get those big bucks, go down to Da Vinci Printing and Innovators. They got everything available for you, man. DaVinciPrinting242.com, DaVinciPrinting242.com. They are in the Village Road Shopping Plaza, right at the intersection of Wolf Road, Burnett Road, Soldier Road, Village Road, all there. On the northern side, right there on the side of the bank, you cannot miss them. Just let them know that Howard Grant sent you down there, and they can be able to assist you a great deal. Good, decent people down there. Grateful for them. Grateful for all that they're doing with us. I also got to shout out my good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They got everything laid out for you. Please check them out. Check him out. I suppose because I keep asking Ethric, but he didn't say anything. I suppose that the slot has been filled now as it relates to administration, but Ethric's always looking for persons. If you're in the market for something to do, if you want to be able to learn the insurance business, you want to do those things, you get this kind of enthusiasm, he can be able to assist you with that. Give him a call, 341-1AFS, 341-1AFS. Or if you're in the market, more specifically, to be able to get yourself your insurance laid out for your cars, your vehicles, your SDs, your jitneys, your taxis, so forth and so on. If you got anything bulk, he can be able to assist you with that with in-house financing. You can't beat that thing. Please go down there and check my guy out. Ethric Bow is down there on number 407 Blue Hill Road South, 407 Blue Hill Road South. He can be able to take very good care of you. They're open 9 to 5 and 9 to 2 on Saturday, right? So, guys, it's a beautiful day. Grateful to be in your company as we chop these things down and just talk about where we are. Over the weekend, it's been very peculiar. I've heard a couple shootings based upon some information. What I've read this weekend, I think someone passed away. As we continue to be able to talk about these things, the murder rate is climbing. We're finding more issues of domestic violence. We're seeing these things. A plane crashed this weekend. Guys, I just want to let you know, man, we are in a very sensitive time. And I often think about the fact that our parents wasn't built like us. Oh, my God. Let's be decent. Our parents wasn't built like us. Let's just be decent. Our parents was not prepared to be able to take us through some of the things that we're going through right now. Them who got the nice, comfortable house and property and this and that and so forth and we can't afford nothing. We're making 5 times more than our parents. 5 times more than our parents ever make. You understand? What our parents make annually when we were children, we have that in our pocket on vacation. Talk to me. Let's just be decent. And we still can't live in our own country. I just want to talk to you, man. I just want to be decent as I talk about these things. It's an amazing thing to know if you are sensitive enough to understand the times that we're in, we may be winding down. And this is not your prophecy jumper church kind of posture. Ha, ha, And the Lord is coming. No. This is, are you taking note? Are you taking note to the signs of the time? Are you taking note to the environment that you exist in? Are you looking on social media and other spaces to identify the fact that things are becoming extremely weird? Are you looking at these things? Are you paying attention to the fact that we are in a significant time in our lives? And it's time for us to kind of make a decision. We got to make a decision whether or not we're going to be able to choose the course that can take us upward, my God, or downward. We got to make this decision and make a determination where we want to be able to go. Guys, we're here and we're looking at these things. Joblessness at 9.9%. Fewer discouraged workers in the fourth quarter of 2023. This is information that's coming out in the newspaper. Make sure you pick up a Guardian newspaper and find out that information. It's very peculiar that we're having these kind of conversations about joblessness at 9.9%. And then 1 in 10 people are without a job. 1 in 10 people, that's 10% of the population. That's 40,000 people without a job. I feel like those numbers, my God, I know that The Economist and other persons will say, Howard, that you can't say things like that. You can't say things like that. But, I feel like these numbers are skewed. I do. If your job is to stand up around the bank on the weekend, on Sunday, my God, if you have identified how to be able to pull the string of people's heart by bringing your child and say, no, baby, leave your shoes home. You bring your child to the ATM and you stand there with your puppy dog eyes. Every Sunday, God said, my God, whilst the people dress for church and going to see Jesus, you standing outside there, how you doing? You know we don't have no dollars coming to the ATM machine. And as you stand there, you give me the puppy dog eyes and say, I just wanted to be able to get some food. Baby, this is not the supermarket. This is the ATM. And you're still standing here. And you end up with $10. My God, I just want to be decent with you. How much else give you $10 today? That's a whole occupation. That's a whole occupation. I won't be decent as I say this. Just decent. I'm looking at that and looking at this 40,000 people. I'm sure that we have that here in the city alone. Not even the account of what's happening across the islands. And I believe that if we start to look at these things, we're not talking about discouraged workers. We're not talking about those persons who've come to the point where they're not even looking for a job anymore. We're talking about those persons who approach Ministry of Works, approach all the various ministries and ministers, so forth and so on here in the city, and got something to do for 6 weeks, for 3 months, for 9 months, and they've identified themselves as employed. That's peculiar to me. It's peculiar to me. And it's disingenuous when you put this information here to be able to indicate that we're moving up. That joblessness at 9.9% and fewer discouraged workers is at it feels like almost 14%. I just want to be decent. I believe if we do a proper analysis and we identify these particular things, we could be able to see that this is double digits strong. We may be centered in the double digits, but we're not going to have that kind of a conversation today. Guys, I want you to join me today, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, anywhere from the Family of Islands, 242-300, 5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. We are here live and in full effect, guys. I want to be able to chop a thing down today. Let me take this quick commercial break and get right back. I want you guys to join me right after this.
Foundation.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport convenience stores, Western Bakery, De Gregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News sales representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello. This Epic Eckert battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. Foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation. It is a beautiful day, a little overcast. I tell you, like the weekend was very wet. And I'm hoping that you guys are very good, man, because I only got out of bed for church this weekend. We did some stuff, like we did some cleaning up. And that's it, in the backyard, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't enthusiastic about being able to go anywhere. And I think it's important that sometimes we could be able to take an assessment. Hey, do we go out? Do we do anything this weekend? And sometimes you take this kind of assessment and you look around in the environment and you say things like, well, mother's sick. Thank God I didn't go. Wow, I can't believe that this happened on Carmichael Road. This happened here. This happened there. Right? And you kind of put yourself in that kind of a position. But I'm hoping that you guys are safe. I'm hoping that everybody's good. I heard far too much stuff this weekend. And I'm really hoping that everybody's good. I just want to talk about these things. I just want to talk about this numbers as it relates to joblessness. Let's see if we can read a little piece of this story. Let's see exactly where we are. Unemployment in the Bahamas stood at 9.9% in the last quarter of 2023, according to the preliminary results from the Labor Force Survey. The results released on Friday by the Bahamas National Statistical Institute's BNSI shows that the unemployment rate dropped in the last quarter, October to December, and compared to the 10.5% recorded in the third quarter, which is July to September. Now, I just want to be decent as I say these things. How do we quantify employment? These are some of the questions that we have to identify. Is there a duration associated with the length of time that you would have been able to retain this particular job before you could be identified as employed? Or you could be counted as employed? Because even when I need to tell you about me and what I know. When you work for the hotel, you're not employed for the first 3 to 6 months, depending on your position that you're vying for. You're not employed. So you're vying for a position, you're showing your skills, your skill set, your enthusiasm, how you are proactive in certain areas, you're doing everything that you have to do to be able to retain this particular job. So you're showing up on time, you're present, yeah. Sometimes you don't even get your uniform. You don't even get your uniform until you're weeks in and people can see that you're serious and you're committed to these things. That's the first thing, okay? The second thing is that the bank still does not recognize you as employed for 2 years. For 2 years, you can't get a loan. You can't borrow against nothing. There is no record that you've been able to accumulate over the course of time, no matter what your human resource department says about you, that he's excellent and brings an apple every day. For our human resource director, he's been here consistently for 3.5 months. Please provide him a loan. That cannot happen. That cannot happen. If we're going to talk about this sort of an idea about the movement of our society and how things are happening, from a statistical standpoint, it should correlate with what's happening in our society. It cannot just be from a political standpoint that these people are occupied only for a time and a half. the government buys 6,774 rigs and put everyone to work under the trees out by Arawaki. You need to stop. Let's just be very clear. Buy 3,424 brooms and everyone sweep up the sand on Arawaki. This is too much for me. This is too much. Is this your concept and idea for local government? Is this the way that we can expect that things are going to get done in our country? While we continue to be able to ramble on about this concept and idea, our posture is that we're eager about technology. And then when you look on the ground, it's far, 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 far removed. Talk to me. Talk to me. Let's shoot straight with this kind of thing. As I look at this, and we make a determination as to whether or not we're going to identify people as fully employed, what is this statistical information that we're receiving? That over the course of 90 days, it went from 10.5% to 9.9% in 2023. This is peculiar. Was this the same time that the government continued to be able to hire people to pick up things off the side of the road? Are you identifying these people as laborers now? I mean, I just want to know. Do we identify those persons who are working for the Ministry of Education, working for these subdivisions as security guards, as all these particular things, and are contracted, and they cannot find themselves solidified in this job? Do you count them too? Do you count them? This is peculiar. I just want to be decent as I say this. How do we quantify this in our society? Who are we lying to? How can you say a population of 400,000 people, much more, I believe, are not documented? Let's just be decent as I say this. But for those that you have documented, 3,999 some that was on the paper, 400,000 people. You're saying to us that 10% of us are not employed. My God. It's almost 65% unemployment in Grand Bahama right now. Now, paper might say something different. But I'm telling you, when you hit the ground and you drive around Grand Bahama, you'd realize that there is less and less employment. That's one. When you drive around Nassau as a Grand Bahamian and you realize how much Grand Bahamians move into Nassau, you'd recognize that unemployment is really bottom of the barrel in Grand Bahama. Let's talk about it. I want you guys to be able to join me in the conversation, whether or not we believe these statistical numbers, whether or not this is a political ploy to ensure that we can be able to give a good view of this New Day administration. I don't even know how this works, because we're still having conversations about the hope of what could happen for Grand Bahama, about the posture of what's going to happen in the future for Grand Bahama, and still clinging to the promises of what's going to be able to happen for West Grand Bahama, still being able to wrangle with the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and you're telling me that unemployment is how? How, Sway? I just want to be decent as I say this. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the family violence, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hello, Howard. How you doing?
Good, man. What's happening?
Sparky here, boy.
What's up, Sparky?
Your very is a hard person to reach these days.
I read you, Sparky.
You know, I wonder if you listen to your show in the evenings at night to listen to the many people that want to call in but can't call in, because you know, Howard, when you talk about the truth, you always mention the truth, you're always around the Bible, you're always around the young man called Jesus. But when we talk about the truth, I wonder if anybody would like to hear the truth before hanging up on them. Because, Howard, you mentioned something just now about the amount of people coming into New Providence looking for employment. Not only looking for employment. First of all, one of the first moves is they move here looking for higher education, because after high school, in majority of Rhode Islands, the next place is come to New Providence to try to get in to UB, to further education, to move it on to Canada, United States, England, New York, University of the West Indies. So it always seems to be a progression to the capital. Mm-hmm. You yourself are from West Grand Bahama.
Yes, sir.
You are in New Providence every day.
Right, I live here.
You're on the talk show every day.
Yes, sir.
You took away a Bahamian from New Providence job.
You think so?
Yeah, because you're supposed to be working in Grand Bahama, West Grand Bahama. You're supposed to be building up your hometown. But if everybody leave their hometown to head to New Providence, what's going to happen to the hometowns in South Island? Who's going to build up Andros? If everybody from Andros leave to New Providence, and when you come to New Providence 2 years later, you meet a lady from Exuma. You get married. Then you move down in Nassau Village. Then your kids are born in New Providence. They go to school here. They go to UE here. They don't come back to doggone Andros no more. They're not going to build up Andros. They're not going to build up Cat Island. They're not going to build up Long Island nowhere. They're going to end up in the capital. And then the capital has become overpopulated. Plus, even our foreigners from the south headed to the capital. So on the south part of the capital, there's a ridge from east New Providence, from up by Renton straight to Lyford Key. On the north side of the ridge, which is the Bay Street, East Bay Street, and West Bay Street, right to Lyford Key. On the northern side of New Providence is the elite area. All the white rich, all the white foreigners, all the white investors, they live on the north side of the ridge. Everything on the south side of the ridge is what we call over the hill. And over the hill from Elizabeth Estates straight down to Adelaide is on the south side of the ridge. Plus, added to that is 37 shanty towns engulfed by Haitians here illegally. How can we survive in New Providence when the cost of living going up, unemployment is going up, 5,000 to 6,000 children come out of school every summer. The children from last year still sitting on the blocks, basketball courts, drinking Guinness and smoking ganja. Where are we going to move in the next 5 years now? We're getting ready for another election. The people from the last election ain't waking yet. And everybody moving to New Providence, I can blame y'all because I was born in Chippenham. I come from the Out Island, what we used to call it, or Family Island. I born in New Providence. Y'all are invading my space. I can't find a job in my own island because y'all are taking over the jobs. I can say it like that. Although as a Bahamian, you got the right to do it because you are a Bahamian. But you're not building up your own island. You're waiting for the politician to build up your own island. Then the politician would come from that island, always go back there election time.
But Sparky, I don't know if that's fair.
But that's the truth. The only time the politician go back to his own island is regarded time somebody born to get christened, somebody getting married, or they having a funeral. That's the only time they go back to their island where they come from. Once they land in Nassau, they become a lawyer, they become a doctor, they become an accountant, or they become a politician or a priest. They don't go back to their own island. And when the foreigner come down here in his yacht, and he want to buy the beautiful beach on Cat Island, you sell it to him. And then the people who move to New Providence, they can't afford to buy a piece of property in New Providence 50 by 100 feet. Then one time ago, you could buy acres for 10 pounds or something like that, or 10,000 pounds. Now you can't buy a 50 by 100 lot for $100,000. And if you do get the lot, then you think you could be able to build a house on the lot. Your children and grandchildren got to build a house because you will never be able to afford it. And then we got to go back to election again in the next 2 years to vote. You say, well, why won't the same fellas and they mess up? Put the last fellas back in there. We keep going from the red shade to the blue shade, back to the red shade to the blue shade. And who do we see getting rich? The fellas to the red shade and the blue shade. The ones over here, one on Wolf Road, begging Great Ministries for corned beef and white rice, they get nothing. Have a good day.
Sparky, it's unfair for you to be able to assess it like that. If we want to be able to deduce this and dissect this accordingly, we'd be able to be more honest in our posture and position. Let's just be honest. In the middle here, we could be able to identify these things. It says, in the fourth quarter, the total labor force registered in the Bahamas was 237,755 persons, with 214,170 listed as employed and 23,585 listed as unemployed. According to the results, more men were employed than women, which 109,737 versus 104,435. Now, this is the information that we're seeing right now. And as I look at this, Sparky, I just want to be as decent as possible as I be able to break these things down. They started to talk more specifically about youth. They gave us youth numbers and indicated that youth unemployment stood at 20.5% in the fourth quarter compared to 22% in the third quarter, which reduced. Now, I want to be as decent as possible. Now, you say you're looking for education, you're looking for this, you're looking for that. Let's talk about these things, Sparky. Your government has the responsibility for ensuring that there is a bolstering environment that persons can be able to pursue jobs and work in every one of the subsectors of our country. Everyone. Local government doesn't even exist in Nassau. It exists in the Family of Islands. They're working those particular things and they have employed, exhausted as it relates to employment. I can tell you because I've come from there. Like you said, you only born here. So you know nothing about what's going on in terms of day-to-day life. I'm not talking about visit. I'm not talking about your cousin tell you day-to-day life living in these particular spaces. The only time many people from the Family of Islands can make money is if they go fishing, they do their farming. They have to live as a community. That's why coming to Nassau is foreign for many people. Because they don't have a chance to go off to run to the fast food restaurants. They don't have a chance to do these particular things, and they have to live as a community. They must. This is a requirement. They know each other. There's no one seeking to come to Nassau or any other space in their life. There's no one running off if their environment can be able to sustain them and their families. Let's be decent about this. I told you the story. I sat with my grandmother after I've been working for the government 52-week program for about 6 to 8 weeks. We train, make some good money. Praise God. I'm grateful for them. Grateful for the opportunity to be able to do that, right? Before that, the hotel started laying off people like crazy in Grand Bahama. This was the anchor jobs in Grand Bahama. The anchor jobs. When people lost jobs at Jack Tar, they transitioned to another hotel. This is the skill set that they had. This is the conditioning that we've had as people to say that our worth and value is in the labor that we can render with our hands. That's it. That's it. Our educational system didn't put enough in our head to make us to understand that the world is not a big space no more, that you could create a space and something to happen for you right now. They haven't told us that. They said to you, your worth and value is based upon the 40 hours that you give the man on a week-to-week basis. That's what it is. And they said, for you to tap into this worth and value, you need to find an MP and see if he could get you a job. You're being disingenuous. And you're not taking it deep enough to understand that people only move at the rhythm of their conditioning. Now, as a young, strapping young man, my grandmother said to me, baby, I can pass away soon rather than later. Ain't not talking now. I love my grandmother. I look in her eye. I said, Grammy, I got to leave. She said, baby, don't leave. I can give you the house. I said, no, Grammy. I don't want no problems with nobody. She said, baby, do not leave with Grammy. I'm scared that if you go, I can die. My grandmother said this to me at 80-some years old. She was 86, I think, at the time. She may be a little younger than that. But she was in her right mind. I used to come by her every night. She asked me to move in. I move in with my grandmother. I bring all my children, but I had 2 children at the time, a fresh wife. I never thought I would have been moving back, but my grandfather died, and I want my grandmother to keep her mind. I move in with her. But my God, I can't take care of my children. You all need to stop it, man. My God, a good, decent man like me can't take care of my children. No job for me on Grand Bahama. I sit down and look at my grandma. I said, Grammy, I'm going to have to move. She said, where you going? I said, I think I can move to Nassau. She said, baby, don't go. I can give you the house. I can give you this. I can give you that. I said, Grammy, this place can't sustain me. I can't take care of and I'm not a Joneser. I don't want nobody to give me that. And I got to take care of my family. She said, baby, I'm afraid if you go, that I can die. That's what my grandmother said to me. I look at her, I say, Grammy, I'm afraid if I stay, that I can die. And I had to justify this in my head. That leaving my neighbor's string, my Grammy, the people who I love and take care of. Listen to me, I used to cut my grandmother grass with pride. I love her so bad. I want to look good. And I left her. Because I have a responsibility to the future generation. And everyone who moves as a Bahamian from one space to another, we should be able to condemn the government as a result of that. Because they've not created an environment where people who are living in that space can be able to move towards. And guess what? You don't even have to create these big things. The government has created the red tape, not even allowing young people to tap into real entrepreneurialism. The length and breadth and depth of entrepreneurialism presented to the country has been $5,000 at the onset. My God. They continue to be able to celebrate the one or two people that has allowed, and their companies blossomed based upon their proximity and their relationships. Everyone else busts the $5,000 up, almost $23 million of it. They've never taught us about money. From then to now, they have never taught us about money. And you're trying to figure out why people come here? Because the only thing that they've ever said to us, even in our job training, is that our value is in our hands. Why is there such a significant conversation as to what the ratio, the portions of foreigners coming in to develop these particular projects is versus the Bahamian persons? Why is there a problem? You know why there's a problem? Because our value, based upon our conditioning, is in our hands. And if our government is constructing negotiations to ensure that foreigners get a greater percentage based upon where the money is coming from, then do you really value us? We have to have a real conversation about these things. Our government, like I said before, is not taking risk. They're not taking risk. There's no better time to ask what's the worst that could happen than now. When we are at proverbial rock bottom, when there's no enthusiasm, when there's discouraged persons, when persons have moved away from the electoral process, when they don't believe in leadership, when they don't believe in anything, the best time to make an advance is now. And our governments haven't done that. They seek to be able to create these concepts and ideas so on paper and numerically it could be able to show success, but we don't see that when we drive in our cars. We don't. We don't see that when we're out here on a day-to-day basis. We don't see that when we go to the supermarket. We don't. We do not see the bolstering progressive society that you speak of when we're out here as we clutch our pearls, clutch our purses, and leave our money in the ATM, because if anybody rob us, then they could just have the cards. Come on, man, let's talk. These numbers are disingenuous to the Bahamian people. And the only time that we, as a collective, would recognize that we have to do something different is when there's honesty presented. Our government has the responsibility of being honest with us. No matter how bad it make them look, they have to be honest. Even if they want to say, this is a grandfathered issue that we've adopted, and we want to be able to rectify this, but we want you to work with us. I want to be able to shoot straight with you. When we look at 63 foreigners in the British colonial, 62 foreigners in the British colonial hotel, and they were working, laboring, doing whatever they had to do, living, doing all these particular things, and we're out here trying to figure out, well, what's going on? When we hear the murmurs of what's happening behind the scenes, the contracts that are set up, this is not for the Bahamian people. And this is not what we imagined or envisioned, not for a new day, not for the people's time, not for any of these particular things. When will you honestly take a good, clear look at where we are and make a determination to move upward? Let me take this commercial break, guys, and be right back after this.
Foundation. 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 The foundation.
What can make you happy and angry at the same time? The Angry Whopper and new Angry Chicken Sandwich at Burger King Nassau. It's time to get angry and take on the flavor sensation of BK's signature flame grilled beef, spicy jalapenos, bacon, classic onion rings, cheese, fresh veggies, and all the fixins you love. Or try the new Angry Chicken with the same delicious spicy ingredients on a crispy chicken breast patty. Take your taste buds to the next level with the Angry Whopper and Angry Chicken today. Only at Burger King Nassau.
Bonneville Bones, established in 1970, is the leader in men's fashion in the Bahamas. We're conveniently located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza, and fully stocked with everything you need for all occasions. Our Harbor Bay location is one door north of Alive, with the black and white signage of Bonneville Boutique. Both locations are open from 10 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Bonneville Bones and Bonneville Boutique, still the leader in men's fashion, located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza.
Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic is where trusted and best care meets consistency and dedication. Let our expert specialists take you on a healthcare journey where warmth, compassion, and your well-being come first. From diagnosis to prescription, we are with you every step of the way, ensuring your peace of mind. Visit us today at Centerville Medical Center, Collins Avenue and 6th Terrace, and discover quality, compassionate healthcare at Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio, Howard Grant in your company. The Foundation, beautiful Monday, June 24th. Got to shout out a happy birthday to my cousin, Christian Stewart. Christian Stewart, happy birthday. His birthday was on June 22nd. June 22nd, he celebrated the birthday. I hope that he and his children, his boys, are very good as he continue to be able to move forward. I hear you getting married or something. I don't know. Talk to me. So happy birthday to my cousin, Christian Stewart, out there in Grand Bahama. Some people know him affectionately as Sours. Praise God for him. I hope that he's good, even his family. Guys, I want to be able to talk to you about this. Now, here's a text that's coming through. It says, Howard, he's trying to tell you go home, mate, right? This is we love running our own, but we can't run the illegal foreigners. Bunch of jokers. Sparky, get man. Because you got your house and your farmland, and so you don't really care about the collective rights of others. There's a text that's coming through, right? I just want to be decent about this, man. Listen to me. I already pay rent when I come to Nassau, you know. So let's just be shooting that shit straight. The only time when I run away from my family, I got to pay money. When I decide I want to run away, I want to be a man unto myself, Dad, right? I'm gone. I'm taking Captain Planet with me and we're gone, right? I tell you, I ran away one time, right? I take one toy and an apple. Boy, I bite the apple 3 times. I know I can eat some meat. Grammy, them go, where your ass? I say, right here, Grammy, ain't hungry. She say, okay, baby, let me get you something to eat. I couldn't take it. Every time I try to run away from my family, it costs me money. And here in Nassau, I got to pay to live in Nassau every day. I got to pay. My God, for the amount of money I paid to live in Nassau over the past something years, the past decade and some, I could have built a whole complex on my acreage. Someone, y'all talk to me, man. Y'all stop playing. If I could sweep my land up what I got in Grand Bahama and bring it here in Nassau, my God, I'll be doing well. You have to understand that you believe that people want to move away from their homes. That's not the nature of human beings. That's not in the heart of a refugee. There's no desire to run away from home. You're running away from climate. You're running away from crime. You're running away from whatever's happening in your environment. You're running away because you don't believe that there is an opportunity for you to be able to survive in this space. Can we just have a real conversation? Can we talk like this? I'm not offended by what Sparky says. I understand what he says. But I also understand that gifts just make room for you. My God, I can't even get an amen. So no matter where you are, your gifts will bring you before kings and queens. Amen? Praise God. Don't fight me. I'm grateful to be in this space and humbled every single day to talk to the Bahamian people. But I will not curb my words and my convictions to be able to accommodate your feelings. The devil is a liar. I will not. I will not shift my posture simply because this is taboo from a political standpoint. Howard, you can't continue to be able to levy condemnation against the governments and those particular people in power. How you ever expect to get anything? Well, I never asked you for nothing. I good. My children good. When they lay down in the night and it's raining, they don't get wet. They all right. Never asked you for nothing. But I will stand here and say, for the next dispensation of leaders in the country, if you don't take this into consideration, you will be cut short and cut down. Your name will never be heard again in this country. Because the Bahamian people have had enough of this. Enough of these skewing. Enough of these particular things that are not necessarily illegal. But no one takes into consideration the immorality of it. No one gauges the immoral aspect. They only say whether or not this is legal. This ain't legal. It's maybe a little taboo, but it's not illegal, Howard. When are we coming to the clarity and the clear point as a society that the immorality that we're continuing to build on, like the Tower of Babel, is coming down? And this is why our communication as a society has been troubled. We don't even know how to talk to each other no more. Because we've built on immorality. That's it, man. You continue to skew these concepts, coming to from a formal standpoint in the government position, and I'm not even talking about this New Day administration. I'm talking about historically taking on this posture to ensure that your organization, whilst you're in the position, in the seat, it looks well. Historically, you've taken on this position and never quantified, never gave us any acknowledgement as to how you make a determination who's employed. Because no matter what you say, these people still can't go to Commonwealth Bank and get no money. They definitely can't go to Scotia. And Bank of the Bahamas is telling you everything, but they can help you. I just want to be decent as I say this to you. Are we talking or are we joking? Let's have a clear conversation, ladies and gentlemen, and talk about how we're going to get out of this hole as a society, rather than being able to prop up this sort of an idea of joblessness at 9.9% in a society. Listen to me. Joblessness was at 11% when we were booming as a society. I think it was 11%. I got to get this number. In 2004, if we compare our 2004, 20 years ago, to right now, and we look at those particular numbers in comparison to the numbers that we're seeing right now, and we take a determination, we take a test, a litmus test, as to how people survived during that time and how our society was bustling and bubbling and moving, and people were just traveling up and down, and taxi drivers had money, and all these things were happening, in comparison to the 9.9% that exists now, comes something wrong. There's a stark difference. What's happening? How come the 9.9% different? These are the same numbers. But what are you saying to me? What elements have we left out? Let's talk, man, and have a very clear conversation. It's not about running away. And in fact, we need more geniuses to come here in Nassau. We need more minds, more creative minds. We need more conviction to be able to step into a place that has not been contaminated by your immorality. It's not been contaminated by the concept and idea that it is what it is and you got to get in where you fit in. You need that genuine concept of being able to see people move forward to contribute to our society. Let them come. Let them come. You can't run everybody. Because old man, I call you because of your wisdom. And young man, I call you because of your strength. And if we can ransack Nassau with people 60 and older, then where can we move? How can we move forward? If we're going to ransack our legislative agenda to ensure that we can accommodate those persons 60 and older all the time, when are you ever going to give way for youth to have an opportunity? Let's be decent. Let me take this quick commercial break, get to news, guys, and be right back after this.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. 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 The foundation. The foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, the foundation, here chopping the thing down, just looking at these numbers and really talking about where we are and the stark naked truth, the stark naked truth of the matter that exists in the country. If we look at these things and we take a determination, and we make a determination as to where we are in comparison to where we were, we'd find out that we're not getting enough bang for the buck. Somebody texts me, and I want to be able to read a couple of texts. Guys, if you want to be able to join in, I'd love you to do so. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere for the family of violence, 242-300, 5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. How are you going to make me the villain? Talk to me. Let's do this. How are you going to make Bahamians? I tell you, I had this problem with the woman in the hotel. Did I ever tell you this? Did we ever talk like this? Somebody text me, Howard, please, Jesus, for God's sake, don't talk about the hotel. But did I tell you this? What happened? Did I tell you what happened? I'm going to tell you what happened quickly, very quickly, then I can read this text. So the Spanish people came in. The transition happened from Sheridan to Malia. We watched people losing their jobs. We watched executives losing their jobs. We couldn't understand what was happening. They was asking us to be able to assist because this is a transitional time. So we assisted. I didn't know exactly where I was. I just got this job. I hadn't had the job for a year and a half. In fact, I had the job for 13 months. Right? I just got my anniversary December 1st. So by the next few months, or whatever the case may be, there was this sort of a transition happening, and we were trying to figure out what was going on. Anyway. So this woman, she calls me into the office, and she was with Malia team. Now, on paper, she came in for finance, but she sat in the human resource position. She was sitting as the human resource director, and she called me in the office. Now, we watched some people get fired. Now, we watched some people get promoted. Now, for the most part, people were saying, Howard, you can get promoted. You know Spanish. You know these people. We've watched you. You've done very well. If these people know who you are and they've been paying attention because they ask us about you, you should get this promotion. So in my mind somewhere, I was like, okay, praise God, we can get a promotion, right? So they called me one day. it's funny. It's funny in hindsight. It's funny. So she called me one day. They said, Howard, they want to see you in human resources, right? So I said, okay. My heart didn't drop. Nothing heavy happened. So I went in the office and I saw her. She didn't even look up at me. So I said, hey, how you doing? It's nice to meet you, right? And she said, hello, Howard, can you sit down here for me, please? So I said, no problem, I sit down, right? I sat down. So we start talking, and she said, well, we want to offer you this here. And she slid me a letter that said redundancy, that they've made my position redundant. So, the devil obviously walked in the room at this particular juncture, right? We're going to take good care of you and make sure that you have all these things and whatnot, but we decided to go in a different direction. But she talked, I said, okay, no problem, right? And I read this, and so I said, who wrote this letter? She said, excuse me? So I said, now, I just need to know who wrote this letter. I said, how can you make a front office manager's position redundant? Are you going to shut down the front office? No. I said, so how can you make my position redundant? I said, there's two other people that do the exact same thing that I do. I don't understand what you're saying. I said, which idiot wrote this letter? You and that fool, all of y'all need to be fired from here. You do not know what you're doing. This is what I said to the woman. I brand new, I didn't know her. Right? I said, let me explain something to you. And this is what I said to her. Y'all don't judge me. This is what I said to her. I told you the enemy walked in and I was obviously a vessel at this particular point. I won't be decent. I said, listen, miss, let me explain something to you. When you was in Mexico, sleeping on one bed, right? That's what I tell her. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can tell the woman. I tell you what I tell the woman. I said, when you was in Mexico, sleeping on one twin bed, you and your 5 brothers and sisters, and you wake up every morning trying to figure out who pee on you. I said, I was living in the Bahamas. I just trying to be decent. That's why I ain't call nobody name. I said, I was living in the Bahamas. I was living in Grand Bahama. Never asked nobody for nothing. I said, the economy placed me in a position where I have to take care of my family within the confines of my own country. And you come here, you're looking at everybody dashboard. That's when we had the names on the license plate and all your disc. I say, you're looking at everybody trying to assume and assess whether or not people they should be here. You have no idea of who our country is. You have no idea. I say, you're only asking no questions. But you believe that this is the avenue that you should take. I said, let me explain something to you, miss. You take your letter, and I come into work tomorrow. And when you all make a decision on how you can fire me, make sure you do it properly. I give it a letter back, and I came to work for the next 30 days. I promise you, this is honest to God truth. I gave it, for 30 days, and then they fired me like an executive, which it was hilarious. It was hilarious because they didn't do it right. Now, I'm saying that to say to you that for the purposes of survival, I wouldn't have been here. I would have never met this woman. But unless I needed money to take care of my family, I could have figured out that way. I didn't go to Mexico. I didn't go to the United States of America. I went within the shelter and the confines of my own country. I shouldn't be the demon for this. I shouldn't be. 61% of the members of parliament, 61.5% of all the seats in the Bahamas reside in Nassau, Bahamas. 61. 61.5% of the representatives that sit in council, that sit within the confines of parliament in our country, that make a decision for the direction that we should go, they reside within the confines of Nassau. 61.5% of them. That's why you don't need local government, because the decisions are being made within the confines of your city. So if people want to get in, they got to get this. This is almost like jump rope. You got to get in with the rhythm of what's happening in the city. And now our home depreciates significantly. And we only could look out and scream at it because we can't even invest in our homes. Our government's thought of nothing like this. Our government made no initiative, no posture, no position. Governments has taken no counsel within themselves to identify how do we get people back to their home, developing their homes. How much persons from Abaco live here right now? How many persons? Legally. How many persons? How many persons who moved here after the hurricane went back to Abaco? How many persons? What incentives did the government do to encourage any of us to go back home? None. None. But they could find service lots, and this is what we're relegated to. You believe because we're black and we're poor that, oh my God, well, this is a great opportunity. A lot for $15,000. How? Why don't we start being honest with ourselves and realize that the demons or the issue is not us, the people. It's the decision makers who don't consider us, who see us the same way as the foreigners see us, as laborers. That's all we are. We are laborers. All we are as hands. We're not even mouths. All they want us to do is shut up and dribble. Shut up and dribble. We have no mouth in our own country. No say. And this is where we are. This is how we exist. This is not thriving. This is not living. This is barely surviving. as a Bahamian? Where's the pride in that? Then you're looking for enthusiasm, you're looking for contribution, you're looking for support for these particular events, and you're trying to figure out, why do I have to keep bussing in my own personal supporters and paying them to come to these events? Because there's no enthusiasm. The pride has left us. This sort of an idea is left us. This idea that it's better in the Bahamas has left us. Because we can't afford milk. We can't afford cream. We can't afford nothing. And you're having casual conversations and going back and forth about what you're going to do with $2.5 million to outfit a new King Air V200. Casual conversations about a relic, about a dilapidated position in Grand Bahama of trying to be able to figure out how we can open up the roads again after a 10-year conversation, and you didn't do it when it was time to do it. Now everybody's reassessed their minds and how to be able to get to their objectives, and now you want to be able to make a $30 million investment, and you still ain't fixed the airport so people could come in. You're confusing all of us. We don't understand this. And then you want to be able to create yet more division so we could be able to lead to war by being able to tell the Bahamians who are on your side that we should go back home. As the Haitians, Jamaicans, Mexicans, the Arabs, the Indians, and everyone who are here, whether they're legal or they're undocumented, are thriving in their spaces. Thriving in their spaces. You hear me? Thriving. You break down our homes as Bahamians because of a lack of being able to go through what you identify as formality, and you leave the shanty towns right where it is. You leave it there. And you try to figure out what is the disparity that exists in our society. Should we have stiffer penalties? No, you should be honest with Bahamian people. You should be transparent, and you should put Bahamians first. That's what you should do. You should put Bahamians first. Let's be decent. Let me fix that one more time. You should put Bahamian citizens first. Yeah, because some people would have gone through the formality. They already didn't go through all the cussing. They already didn't go through why you don't look like us. They already didn't go through everything, but they got the formality of a Bahamian passport. Or so you in the bucket with us. You should put Bahamian citizens first. But this is what we got to be able to deal with. Our government's given us 5 different stories for one plane and $2.5 million. And then simultaneously saying to us that unemployment is dropped, and then you want to be able to praise those persons who've realized that I can't wait on the government no more, I got to tap into my own thing and create a space. Come on. Whilst people are calling me every day and saying to me, man, Mr. Grandman, you got to work it out, man. Help me see if you can help me, man. You know nobody? Oh, no, nobody anywhere. Yeah, man, listen, man, I've been working as a security officer for 10 years, man. Every 6 months, they try to give me this fresh contract or whatever. But how we get, Mr. Grandman, I can't even get a loan from the bank, man. This is what we're dealing with. But no one wants to come ball naked to that truth. And there has to be honesty here somewhere. And you want us to celebrate you. You want us to be able to praise you. You want us to be able to say that you're doing well. My God, you're doing well, eh? My God, yes, Chief, you're doing good. And people can't eat. If you get an X-ray of these people's stomach, you don't know if you're looking at worms or Roman noodles. You don't know what Jesus, what this is. No, it ain't worms. That's all Roman noodles. Because that's all these people eating. And you're content with that. Well, thank God, some people voice off than us. How? 400,000 people, and you can't feed them. You can't clothe them. You can't even inspire them. It's time for us to be done with this foolishness. It's time for us to be done with this garbage. This is enough of this, man. You cannot come out here and celebrate 9.9 joblessness, 9.9% joblessness with fewer discouraged workers and being able to do that. I know these people have a job to do. I'm not talking about the technocrats. I'm not talking about the technocrats. I'm not talking about the persons who are in these divisions who have a responsibility, who's telling you like everyone who works for government, child, I take directives, eh? I only do what I've been told to do, Howard. Don't ask me no questions. I'm talking about an administration who say that this is a new day. How? Sway how? Telephone call on the line. Go ahead.
How are you?
I'm good, man. What's happening?
Tell your producer, pull up the song Promises by Lieutenant Stitchie, okay? Remember, Howard, I called you on Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
About this plane, the 2.5 million they allocate to repurpose the plane now, right? Because they didn't want to give no explanation in Parliament about it. And then the Raman boy, Ducky Raman's son, come out to the OPM office and admit that the plane is a confiscated plane, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no details, right?
Mm-hmm. You mean Latrey? You mean Latrey?
Yeah.
Latrey.
Yeah.
Latrey.
I know his daddy. I mean, I know the family too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, but here it is now. The Minister of National Security, vaguely, and you have to listen to him and pay attention to it. He admitting what I said on Friday. The plane come out of Crooked Island, eh?
Mm-hmm.
It's confiscated of Crooked Island 1 month after they came to power from a drug bust, and much more details about what happened there. Because you know, as a Crooked Island man and Damon, they make 19 months and 10 days since they wouldn't answer my letter out the OPM office.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying here, what we concerned about is give the details of this money which you can go spend on this plane that we got. The government, we own it. If the police have it, it ain't no issue. We're talking about no 8 months and 9 months of jumping through hoops and all the rest of that. That belongs to the government. And here it is. If you're going to use it from one story to the next, they tried to say it's for government personnel and not government officials. Now they talk about the gurney to strap it down. That's fine. But we want to know the details. Please give my child a schoolmate and friend, Pintard, the detailed amount on what you're going to spend to service the engines and the props and put a paint job on it and put a couple of more seats in it because some of them missing from the load what they bring in. And what you're going to do with it, that's all we're asking, you know. Be accountable. Don't be perfidious, deceitful, and untrustworthy, this administration. And he did it in his release over the weekend. And my hat's off to the reporter that locked him down to try and explain his way out of it. And I call it a bunch of bloviation, right? That he says all of the money they don't think can be used. We want the details. Please, me and Monroe and your government, hand the details to my boy Pintard. Or if you want to hand it to him, give it to our other schoolmate, Miles LaRoda, and let him hand it to Pintard. Okay? I go on that. You all have a nice day.
Thank you, my brother. I do appreciate your telephone call. I don't know, man. For me, it's only Howard Grant. It's not enough statistical data and information that's coming to the forefront about why this is a necessity. It's just why this is a necessity now, right? One of the excuses was, so they don't have to be able to cause delays or members of parliament to cause delays for being able to go on chartered airlines and so forth and so on. I don't understand this. I just don't understand. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. As we look at this, 15 seats in the Family Islands. Am I correct? It's only 15 seats. I counted again. You got 1 on Long Island, 2 on Eleuthera, 1 in Exuma, 2 on Andros, 5 in Grand Bahama, 2 Abaco, 1 Michael, 1 Cat Island. That's 15 seats in the Family of Islands. 15 seats. Out of the 15 seats and the representatives in these particular spaces, those are various persons going there. We have the cabinet, we have the prime minister, we have the deputy prime minister, we have several cabinet ministers in the Family of Islands and permanent secretaries. Okay, we could see that. How can one plane, oh Jesus, how can one plane service all these needs? How? I am so confused. It's an overwhelming thing for me. I am so confused. Yeah, we fixed the plane. We cleaned the plane. This is the government of the Bahamas plane. That's no problem. The government of the Bahamas plane. The prime minister and the cabinet ministers have this particular plane. Boom. That's it. Come on, man. Come on, y'all shoot straight with me. Be honest with me. Just be clear with me. You don't have enough officials to go to the family of islands, who's that important, to waste all that jet fuel and fuel on for them to be able to go to. No, you don't have it. You don't have it. But you can make a claim to say that this is going to be the government of the Bahamas is playing for administrations to be able to move in the event that there's a hurricane, in the event that there's a natural disaster, in the event that we want to be able to carry the cabinet down there, in the event that we do. Yeah. Talk to me like this. Make me to understand that we're moving and try to be able to perk it up with this sort of an idea that there's a modern posture, rather than being able to give me an excuse that you can use this for administrators and police officers. How you can work one plane to death? How? I'm confused. You could take $2.5 million, throw it into the coffers as it relates to the Bahamas Investment Authority and being able to do that, expand an opportunity, ensure that you can legislate an opportunity for persons to be able to bring in the aircraft, to this, to that, all these things, to that. Let somebody be able to grab a little couple of dollars, $300,000, so forth and so on, open up a business, find private partnership, tap into entrepreneurialism, the government forge relationship with this new company that's being forged to be able to say that we're going to provide you $150,000 a year for you to be able to ensure that you could charter flights for us to go here, here, and here. Now you're getting new businesses in the economy. Come on, man. I'm so confused. I don't understand how grown men they sit down and make these decisions. Entrepreneurialism needs to come to life. Pineapple, I need money. You're already then giving them a subvention. You're already then giving them stipend or whatever you're doing for these particular companies to ensure that they can stay afloat. You're already doing these particular things. Now that there is an opportunity that you have more pilots who wish to get into their own thing, they need all your money. They need your support. Why don't we get into entrepreneurialism? Why? Let me take the next telephone call. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller. Next call. Caller on the line, go ahead.
Mr. Grant.
Hey.
Oh, this plane, man. I should have lent them the money to refurbish this plane, and all this problem will cease.
You should have let the money, yeah.
Yeah, man. See, the problem is the MP for Andres, he explained the problem wrong about this plane. I believe this government, when they coming out with something, they should let somebody who can explain things come out to the public and make it make sense. When they come out, make sure they coming out with the details and everything so it wouldn't make the Bahamian people get confused. Mr. Monroe's bringing more light into this plane thing. Because it will make the people feel like they hiding something, and which they ain't hide nothing, but it will make people feel like, well, oh, the government hiding this, or they spending this money, or they waste on the next thing. They're supposed to get together with one accord, one voice, and say, you go to the public and you tell the media this. And people will understand this problem could have been solved long time, and they know if they come in the wrong way, the opposition gonna hold their feet to the fire, and the opposition gonna come, it gonna say something else, and it may be contrary to what it's supposed to be. And this whole thing with this plane with the being solved without problem with the being settled, stuff like that. If they'd have wanted a couple of dollars, I could have lent it to them, you know. And that's it. But I just hope as we go now to 2 more years stretch, this government hold the brakes on some things and leave it till for the next time they get in office. They don't need no more now to bring nothing out that the people there would be confused and stuff like that, because it can cause problem. You see, if I was them, I would leave this plane even off until the next 2 years when elections after they can win. Then fool around.
No,
this plane.
you just gotta be honest with people, man.
Yeah, but, yeah,
gotta be honest. Yes, guys,
that's true.
I don't have a problem with them trying to be able to have this sort of a plane for the official travel of our prime minister to ensure that in the event that he wants to be able to go someplace within the hemisphere, that we could be able to do. I don't have a problem with honesty. I do not have a problem with honesty. But in the event that they want to be able to do this, it has to be accompanied with progression and growth for our society.
Exactly.
So when all us doing well, we don't have a problem with you doing well. We don't have a problem.
And you know who's gonna make the post make the look bad? It can be the leader. Because the leader's supposed to make sure they coming out with the right information and say, now, when you go to the media, say that we don't want this politician go to the media and he's saying this. Then the next politician, when he go to the media,
and you know how you
he's
fix
saying something
that?
else.
You know how you fix that? The only way you fix that is with honesty. That's it. You shoot. The only way you could fix that, when you go to the media, you got to go straight. Say, this is a plane that has been confiscated during our time when we first came into government. This is what we found a reason to be able to repurpose this particular plane and ensure that we can utilize it for governmental use. So we will have access to this. The F&M will have access to this. Everyone will have access to this in the event that they step into office. We're living in a new age, a new time now, and we need to be represented in this particular amount. I don't have a problem with none of this. I don't have a problem with none of this. But I don't need there to be this sort of an idea that you're creating in our minds so we could be able to justify, okay, yeah. How you can put all that work in one plane? It don't make sense to me. Just, Howard, it don't make sense to me. It don't make sense to me. I would prefer you saying, look here, we want just the same way the United States of America has an opportunity. The government of the Bahamas is proud that we've afforded this opportunity, even during this time that there's misfortune and we can be able to capture this plane. We want to utilize it for these purposes. We're also looking for a helicopter that in the event that there is a natural disaster, that there's this, that there's that we can service our people and have true representation on the ground. And provide us the clause that what happened in Long Island, what happened with Hurricane Dorian, what happened in these particular spaces that no one can get down. The government of the Bahamas had to ensure that we can do this. We have relentless dependency on Basra. Talk to me like this, man. Talk to me. I could take that. I could understand that. And I say, I can't fight them. They lie. Over the course of the last 10 years, there's been this much natural disasters, and we could not have been able to access that. These are the relationships, these are the positions, this is the posture that we had to use, this is the relentless times that we had to continue to lean on our relationships to ensure that they could provide us this. The Bahamas government find this as a blessing to ensure that we can do this, we repurpose this, and this is what we're utilizing this for. Man, shoot straight with me. We bring in criminals from the Southern Islands. I don't understand why you're telling me this. I don't want to hear that. Because if that's the case, then you should afford an opportunity for entrepreneurs to be able to get something and make it work like that. That's just me. I'm going to read a couple of these texts. So it says, look what they did to Toby Smith. They are not really for Bahamians. It's about big business. They don't believe that we deserve a particular level of success. Look what they did to Toby Smith. This is a text is coming through. I don't know whether or not we could put apples and oranges together. Is that what we're doing here? Is it a desire to just kind of drag this concept and idea into the space? Let's be decent as we're having these conversations. Let's talk about this. Is great show as usual, Howard. If we could mess away $2 million on the plane, could the government pay off my mortgage? Okay, you want to know, sir, right? There's a difference between unemployment and underemployment. Most people are underemployed in the Bahamas, working 2 to 3 jobs to barely make ends meet. The cost of living is crazy. It's astronomical. I agree with you. It says, good day. Use the coldest dude ever. I don't know where this comes from. You asked to be fired properly, right? I won't be like you. No, I honest to God, I tell this woman that. I don't know these people. Miss, I don't know you. Listen to me. When I was studying in the night for my things, when I sit down in college in the Bahamas doing my thing, when I had to pay for that out of my pocket, when I had to do all these things, listen to me, y'all, I don't know this woman. I never go and ask nobody for nothing. The only reason I come to Nassau is because I's Bahamian, baby. I got the passport to show it. All my children got passport. Remember I tell you, I go under the development bank, and the man tell me, oh, Howard, your mother is a member of parliament. You straight. You don't need no money from us. The next Monday, I bring my wife, all of my children dress up. With all the frilly socks on like we was going to church. I come in my suit and I put 4 Bahamian passports on the table. Look at the man, I said, let me explain something to you, eh? Don't you ever say nothing stupid to me like that again. But my mother. You see, Anya? I doing this for my family. Have respect for decent people, amen? My God, I just want to be decent. My wife didn't know what I was doing. Quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Be right back after this.
The foundation.
Honey barbecue, sweet and spicy on noon.
Signature hot wings.
What's your flavor?
Roasted garlic parmesan, tastes so good, chicken.
Those pepper wings.
Popeyes. Now available at Popeyes in Nassau.
Popeyes.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello. This Epic Eckert Battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center, your friendly and affordable vendor one-stop shop, where you can get all of your groceries, kids' lunch snacks, and vendor snacks items at the best prices in town. Don't believe us? Find us on Market Street in the red, white, and black building south of Chesapeake Road. We don't stock anything, we just buy deals, so you better get there first. Call us today at 698-0123 or WhatsApp 557-2522 or follow us on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. Remember, always make us your first stop.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
Y'all fight me today. I'm not going to fight you, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, live and in full effect, being able to chop these things down. Just want to talk about it. I just want to have a very clear conversation and kind of get these things off and put this in your hearing. I want you to contribute and participate. Let me see if I can read a couple of these texts. It says, my God, Howard, you're dropping it too real today. It says, what you said at the beginning of the show about making more money today than our parents and grandparents ever made, but still can't afford to get what they had, hit me like a ton of bricks. So the term the working poor is real. I don't know but y'all. I do not know but y'all. I don't know but y'all. It is truly expensive to live in Nassau. Truly expensive. And I know that we still have the responsibility of being able to purchase food in the event that we move to the Family Islands. Let's say hypothetically I decided to be able to go back home. I got my property home. I got everybody who could be able to help me build my place. If I could pinch, we could build my place. I know that. I watch my father, I watch my mother, I watch my family members, I watch my uncles do the exact same thing. So I know that it can be done. But the issue that I have now is that for the purposes of productivity, I need to be able to have money. How I can make money in Grand Bahama? I just get a text. Somebody called me and said, do you think that the government should be able to focus on being able to inspire and clothe and feed people? That's a text is coming through. I said, the government, this is the lowest hanging fruit. The government, this new administration need to do something. It cannot be the acquisition, $30 million that you've rendered, you've identified to be able to purchase. People don't even walk in the Princess Hotel. They don't even walk in there. Every day something crumbling. Every day. Think about this. You get $30 million, you acquire it for $4 million, you got $26 million to play with, you develop these particular concepts, beautiful place, nice, great looking location, so forth and so on. You'll be able to forge relationships, you cut the ribbon, everybody's celebrating now. Oh my God, this is a beautiful place, persons come down. You got to go to the Port Authority and get your license. That's the first thing. You got to go to the Port Authority. You're in the jurisdiction of Freeport. You got to pay for a license at the Port Authority. And you got to find first, last, and security. That's almost $7,000 to sit down and hope that Jesus, somebody come on your place to spend money. And who coming? Who coming? Now you spend $7,000 and 60 days. After you open, you got to start closing down. Store-wide sale. Are we thinking what? Listen, who's spending money like this in Grand Bahama? To do what? Take this money and put it in a hotel, let foreign money come in. Take this money and create a space that foreign money could come in. Put it in the airport. Do something. I love what you're saying. We love the idea of creativity, but if it's not practical, how can we apply it? Let's just be decent about this, right? I see the telephone lines are going crazy right now. Let me take a telephone call. Caller, go ahead. Caller, go ahead.
Hello, Howard Grant.
Hey, what's up, my brother?
Man, everything you were saying is...
Turn your radio down 2 seconds. Turn your radio down. I'm getting the reverberation.
Yeah. Everything you were saying, Howard Grant, is right on. But let me share with you about the plane. The plane that was purchased, Howard, is a drug plane.
Well, they didn't purchase it. They say they seized it.
Or they seized it. Mm-hmm. And that plane is equipped with all the latest in technology. Mm-hmm. That plane has additional fuel tanks, which tells me that plane can fly an additional 1,000 miles. Mm-hmm. That plane also has a bug on it, meaning if you're riding in that plane and whoever the owners are, they want to blow up that plane, they can do that.
Okay.
And for those persons who want to ride on a plane, or if I'm shipped down south, I get in by the mail boat, or I get in by Pineapple Air, or something of that sort. The other thing, how it is, you mentioned about Bahamianization. One of the first things we ought to do is send the golfers back home. And that is, there are hundreds of Bahamian golfers who can run a golf course. We need them because those persons who are there receiving all the benefits that Bahamian golfers should get. And, that's non-existent. We have to be more aggressive and take charge in what we do for our own existence.
Yeah.
And I thank you. Keep it on, keep it burned, because, hey, man, now is the time.
I like it.
Now is the time. You can't sit on our laurels any longer.
No.
And take this foolishness.
No.
Because all it is a distraction from this thing to this thing. And our elected officials are not coming clean. Not coming clean at all.
Wow.
I never, they sound to me like a bunch of bumbling idiots.
Wow.
Thank you, Howard.
Thank you, man. I do appreciate your telephone call. Let me read the text and go back to the line. Howard, successive government policies are and have been designed to benefit foreigners. They are given incentives after incentives, and where the benefits are unsatisfactory, special legislations are being put to suit their purposes. On the other hand, when it comes to the ordinary Bahamians, you are only given enough to frustrate you, unless you are lucky enough to get a government contract or are a butt-kissing crony. This is a text that's coming through. Let me see if I can read another one. So it says, Howard, the unemployment stats is not even the issue when there is a growing percentage of the working poor. Let's talk about the frustration at the cash register for food. Those who are employed are not existing to keep up with bills and not living. I suppose you meant are only existing to keep up with bills and not living. Yeah, I think that's one of the issues that we're having in the country right now, right? It says no garbage collection for 3 weeks. This is bananas. You didn't tell me where you live. Somebody text that back and tell me where you live, right? Telephone call on the line. Go ahead.
Well, good afternoon, Howard. Dwayne Sands. I'm enjoying your show, as I usually do. And I think you hit the nail right on the head. This administration now has a serious credibility problem. We heard the story of the Prime Minister going shopping during COVID and the multiple stories that were told. We heard about the Bermuda trip. We still ain't heard the whole story. We heard about the BPL hedge. Mm-hmm. Now we're hearing 5 different stories about a plane. So when this administration talks about unemployment being down, but no, it's up because it was 8.8%, but now it's 10.3 or it's 9.9, the public is looking on and realizes that their credibility is shot. And when you ask, why not just be honest? Just tell the truth and shame the devil, eh? Mm-hmm. Now, how do you rehabilitate your credibility with 2.5 years ostensibly to go? It is going to be incredibly difficult for an administration now to say anything when one minister says this, another minister says that, the press secretary says something different. And fundamentally, you got to ask the question, and this is my words, not yours, is somebody lying? Is somebody telling a mistruth? Is somebody prevaricating? That is what Bahamians are thinking now, that they cannot believe what this administration says.
Wow. That's heavy what you're saying, Dr. Sands. I want to thank you so much for being able to contribute like this. This is a strong position. We want to know whether or not the Free National Movement is being able to take an account of what's happening and provide us with the honesty that we require, that we deserve as a Bahamian people. Talk to me about it.
Absolutely. I think Bahamians deserve, before everything else, the direct, blunt, cold, honest answers. Now, if you want to try and shine it up or spin it after that, go for yourself. But start with an honest answer. So you cannot have 5 different explanations on the same thing, and people scratching their head and going, well, is it a refurbished plane or a new plane? Are you buying it or you confiscated it? Is it for public officials or police officers? Is it for the MPs to travel around, or what is this for? And they are asking the question, why are you spending $2.5 million, but you can't buy us an ambulance? You can't even clean up accident emergency so that we don't have to go there and be in squalor. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You can't provide water in Eleuthera. You can't even bathe your skin. You can't brush your teeth. Okay?
Wow.
But you could buy a $2.5 million plane so you could fly up and down in style.
Wow. Dr. Sands, I appreciate this, man. Let's see if we could be able to set some time. I know that we're moving towards independence. But I think we're going to have a different conversation here. Are we truly independent? How do we find that? And is our politicians being able to do that? I'd love to be able to invite you to that, to have a good conversation with you.
I look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that's none other than Dr. Dwayne Sands, the chairman of the Free National Movement, being able to call us and talk to us about this kind of a posture. I didn't know he was going to call, all right? Stop it. I didn't see you all texting me with your indecency. I didn't know he was going to call. But it says to me that all of us are participating in the same economy. All of us can feel this particular pinch. And if you're sitting in a leadership position, you should be able to participate in this. Even those in this New Day administration should be able to identify and be able to dissect accordingly. We could take the truth. We can take the truth. We can take a truth. I do not have a problem with just spraying up the plane and making it look good and putting the Bahamian flag on it and making it a Bahamian aircraft to be able to move up within the hemisphere, within this particular space. I do not have a problem with you doing. I do not. But I would prefer you to be able to do that in a time where all of us, where, like the PLP is saying, when rising tides lift all boats. I'd prefer that not only on your dock, the boat lifting. I just want to be decent as I say this. How come only on your dock the tides go up all the time? My God. We got to jump in the boat. We got to take the ladder and put an extra ladder down there to get in the boat. Are tied on the ground. How come? Let's just there needs to be balance in our society. There needs to be balance. And this ain't, let's gang up on the PLP day. Take this as constructive criticism. You still have time. You still have time. You still have time for this sort of a revival concept. You still have time to kind of creep into this concept and idea of a New Day administration. You still have time to take care of your people, because that's the first thing you got to do. Anton already then called us and gave us significant sentiments about the fact that there is trouble within the PLP camp, that you're not taking care of your people. My God, if you ain't taking care of your people, how could there be an expectation that you can take care of all of us? Internal, external. Let's talk about these things. Let me take this next telephone call before we get out of here. Caller, quick. Go ahead.
Howard.
Hey.
How you doing, my brother?
Anton, I just called your name. What you say?
I hear that before. If it's one day I wonder if I would skip me over today. But anyway, how you doing, Howard?
I good, man. What's happening?
Yeah, truth be told, we have some work to do. We have some work to do, Howard. But not only that, but before I go there, let me just make this one statement, Howard. You've seen how we have opened up our country, our borders, real estate, Movable Property Act, and all these kinds of things. We are experiencing the results. I speak about it, you're speaking about it, the country is feeling it and living it. Howard, we can't make this same mistake that we have made in the capital when developing our family of islands. You hear me, Howard?
Mm-hmm.
We cannot repeat the same mistake, the mistakes that we've made where cost of living, where access, where opportunities, where the ability for a average working class family chances to get a grip hold in our economy becomes next to impossible. We cannot make the same mistakes that we've made in the capital. Coming back to what you were talking about now, Howard, and I heard Dr. Sands, and we all acknowledge what the realities are in terms of the communications and the missing communications. I want to speak to it from a different perspective of it. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
We are missing...
You got to do so quick now. I got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, all right, Howard. Okay. We are missing some key persons who helped us to come to government, but have been left behind since we've gotten the government. The persons who are there, pardon me, Howard?
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm not talking. Go ahead.
The persons who are there, Howard, they're not in sync with the leader's heart, mind, and intentions. We are making too many amateurish mistakes. Too many, as the people say, green mistakes, Howard, that we should not be making as the oldest, the most mature political government this side of our hemisphere, in our country in particular, Howard, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to get our acts together. We have to be able to recognize strengths and weaknesses, and know where our limitations are and get the people in place who can help us to get where we need to go. Because clearly, Howard, with the little time we have left in government, the people who are filling all of these strategic positions, some of them aren't getting the job done. Thank you for the opportunity, Howard. God bless.
Thank you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the show today. I want to thank you so very kindly for being able to participate in that. I see that all your person says, y'all Bahamian account, man, my brother. He says, sometimes it ain't right about, something ain't right about that. According to them, y'all ain't got no sense. All you're gonna know is party colors and everything is good. Come on, man. Let's just talk about this. So it says, so I was rent my place and providing meals for my restaurant on the island to the government officials and corporations every year. Now the plane will reduce their stay with me, and that's less money in my community. I like you. Well, they ain't got to eat no more, Howard, if they get plane. My God, we don't need the plane, Howard. Let them stay with me 2 days, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the show today. I want to thank you so very kindly. It's time for us to be able to be honest about this. I'm talking from a government official. I'm talking about us as a society. We got to be able to take off the scales off of our eyes and just being able to see party colors. We got to realize that this is not producing for the next generation. And we got to be the wisdom that makes that decision. We got to be able to keep the proverbial feet to the fire, no pun intended, but we got to keep the pressure on, man, and say to this administration and every administration, even those who aspire to be in this position, we will not be fooled anymore. Let's have a clear conversation about growth and development and continue to do that right here on The Foundation. Guys, we're going to see you tomorrow, God Spare Life, right here, 96.9 FM radio. Have a beautiful day. We can see you tomorrow, God Spare.
The Foundation. The Foundation.